And God, in this chapter, as we're going to see, he describes the Greek Empire conquering the Medo-Persian Empire before they exist. This is an amazing prophecy. Romans chapter 4, verse 17 says, God calls those things which do not exist as though they did. That's what he does here. He calls things that do not exist as though they did. But there's more. There's more to this prophecy. Look at verse 2. I saw in the vision, and it so happened while I was looking, that I was in Shushan, the citadel, which is in the province, notice that, the province of Elam. That's Persia. It's part of the Babylonian Empire here. Just a province in Babylon at this point. And I saw in the vision that I was by the river Ulai. Ulai. So get this. In this vision, Daniel sees himself in the city of Shushan. It says in the citadel or in the fortress of Shushan. It's in the province of Elam, which is Persia, which will become the Persian Empire. But right now it's just a province. It's just a district in the Babylonian Empire as Daniel writes this. The city of Shushan was about 200 to 250 miles east of Babylon, where Daniel lives. And here's the thing. Shushan will be the future capital of the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire that doesn't exist yet. He sees the capital city of a future empire that doesn't even exist. It's just a province, a district right now, currently in the Babylonian Empire. And so in this prophecy, God also gives the name of the capital of the Persian Empire before there's a Persian Empire. The capital city. And he mentions the River Ulai, which actually was a 900-foot wide canal near the city of Shushan. Again, an amazing prophecy. He says in verse 3, Then I lifted my eyes and saw, and there, standing beside the river, was a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher one came up last. So this ram, we're already told down in verse 20, this ram represents the Medo-Persian Empire. We're told it has 2 horns. One horn is higher, representing the Persian Empire, which was more powerful and the dominant part of the Medo-Persian Empire, more powerful than the Medes. And then he goes on in verse 4, And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no animal could withstand him, nor was there any that could deliver from his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. And here's the thing, the Medo-Persian Empire expanded their empire westward, northward, and southward in that order, historically. As the Medo-Persian Empire expanded their territory, they expanded westward first, then northward, then southward. God gives us the order of their military conquests and expansion as an empire. This is remarkable. It doesn't even exist as an empire at this point. Again, a very specific prophecy. The Bible is like no other book. There's no other book like the Bible. Only God knows the end from the beginning like this. And the great thing is we can search the Scriptures for direction. We can pray to the God who knows the end from the beginning, and He answers our prayers, and He gives us guidance and wisdom. The same God. Now, at the end of verse 4, it says, that they expanded, it says that no animal could withstand him, nor was there any that could deliver from his hand, but he did according to his will. He became great. If you remember last week in the vision in chapter 7, the Medo-Persian Empire was represented by the bear. like a big grizzly bear, was the Medo-Persian Empire. And here we see, just the power and the dominance of the Medo-Persian Empire. At the height of its power, the Medo-Persian Empire had, get this, 2.5 million soldiers deployed on the battlefield. 2.5 million soldiers deployed on the battlefield. The Medo-Persians would simply overwhelm opposing armies with just sheer numbers. And that's how they were able to expand and conquer territory. That's why it says no one could withstand them. They just had so many men, so many soldiers. No one could withstand them. Verse 5 says, and as I was considering, so he's looking at this vision, as I'm considering it, suddenly a male goat came, notice, from the west. It says across the surface of the whole earth without touching the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. So we know from verse 21, this is the Greek Empire, and it's coming from the west. It's coming from Greece, going towards the Middle East to the Medo-Persian Empire. And it has one horn, the notable horn between the goat's eyes, we were told in verse 21, was its king. And we know that that's Alexander the Great, who was the king of the Greek Empire as it expanded and defeated the Medo-Persian Empire. Alexander the Great was educated by the philosopher Aristotle. He became king of Macedonia when he was 20 years old, and he conquered all of the Mediterranean region and the Middle East in 12 years. And that's why he's described here as moving across the surface of the whole earth without touching the ground. It's speaking of the swiftness with which Alexander's army moved and conquered lands. They moved so quickly, it was like they weren't even touching the ground. And again, this is written 200 years before Alexander the Great's even born. And it's describing his conquest and the swiftness of his army.